Aaron Group Tutorials. Learning made fun.
Okay, greetings everyone. Today we'll be doing this two filter problem. So what you need different colored pens. So here you can see I have four. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have four here. Then I have obviously my pencil there. Then you're gonna need your highlighters, probably four. Then you're gonna need four highlighters when you're doing our blocks. I only have two here, so I'll get the other two. So what you need to do, the first thing that you do, you must draw the strike lines for the younger fold. So you'll be told which one is the younger fold. In our case, we were told here that okay, F2 is the younger fold. So in the question here, we are told that F2 is the younger fold. It's written there. So you always start with the younger fold. So now you come here. So I've already drawn the first strike line. So for the younger fold, it's F2, we know. So we have that negative 300, negative 300. We have this 400. Yes. So now to get the first strike line for the younger fold, it's still the same rules that we've been applying to the strike lines of the contour of the reef, the fold. Excuse me. So in this case, we know that the strike line is formed by points of the same elevation there. So we have these contours, 300, 300. When you join them, they're gonna give you a first strike line. So for each strike line, for each contour, for each elevation, you must have a different color. So for 300, I decided to use black. For 400, I'm gonna use red. That's my decision. It's up to you, as long as it's different colors. So I know that my second strike line must pass at F2, parallel to the existing one. That's the rule that we've been applying all along. So I know that, okay, my strike line, it's still the same strike line, just that now it's parallel to which one? To this existing strike line. So now you have your thing there. Okay, so make sure that it's parallel to this one. So we have our second strike line. It's passing at F2, parallel to the previous existing one. So this one is 400, one is 400. Then we're gonna have 500. Remember, we have in these contour lines, if you see, we have 500 up to 600. So we're gonna have 300, 400, 500, and 600, guided by our contour lines. So now I have our second strike line. So now we can just get the spacing. We already know the spacing now. So when I'm trying to measure here, so I'm getting, let me just do this. So from what I'm getting here, okay, let me just put it straight. So I'm getting around 25, 26. I'm getting around 26. So now I'm just gonna space my strike lines as 26. All of them is 26. Okay, so now the second one here, we're gonna have 26 there. So now I'm gonna use another color, a different one. So we have, you know that the spacing is 26. Okay, 26, 26. Let's see. Okay, so we just join those 2 points. We get our third strike line with a different color from the existing colors that I've used. Okay. Okay, we have negative 500. So I've decided to use pink for 500. It's up to you. long as the colors are different. So now we come here. I'm just gonna write so that you guys can remember. 500. So now 600. I'm gonna use which color? Which color I have not used? It's yellow. I'll just use yellow. I'll just stick with yellow. I was gonna use purple, man. Let me just stick to yellow. Same spacing, 26. Same spacing here, 26. It's 26, 26. Okay, we have 25, 26. Okay, we have 26. So after that, we just join to get our point, to get our straight line. So that's what we have. So that's negative 600. Not sure if you can see that yellow there. Yeah, but this the last one is 600. Let me just write using my blue color so that you see. That's 600 there. So now we have our strike lines. So let's recap what we did first. We said the first thing that you do, you draw the strike lines of the Younger fault, which is what we did. So we said our Younger fault is F2, we know, we were told in the statement. So that so that's our Younger fault, F2, né? So remember we said to draw a strike line, we need points of the same elevation. So here we had 300, 300 for F2. And also 400 for F2. So to get the first straight line, we just join those 2 points. We got our first straight line. Then we knew that the second straight line must be parallel to this one, but pass at what? At the point where there's F2. So it was 400. So we made this straight line parallel to this existing one, just like the way we've been doing. Then we got the spacing distributed until we got to 600, because the contours here are ending at 600. So these contours are guiding us, you see. So now the second thing that we're going to do here, we can start drawing the what's this thing, the strike lines for the older fault, but they must stop. The same color stops the same color. So meaning red stops red. Remember, when you're drawing the strike lines, they're supposed to be stopping when we're having the, like when you're drawing the outcrop of a, let's say, conglomerate of coal, the same elevation stops the same elevation. So in this case, it's the same thing. Same elevation stops the same elevation. Just that I'm putting it in colors now. Same color stops same color. Meaning it will be 300 stopping 300. Meaning black stops black, red stops red, 500 stops 500, which is pink in this case here. So now to draw the for the younger fault, the older fault. So the older fault is F1, and we are saying same elevation stops same elevation, same color stops same color. Now let's go to F1. So looking at F1, we have F1 there, and that's what, that's 400. Then we have F1 again here, that's 300. We can't join these two to get F1. They are of different elevations. We need points that are going to be of the same elevation. Okay, now let's check. If we check here, we have F1. This is 400. But if we try to draw this F1, it's supposed to stop here, because that's 400. 400 must stop at 400, meaning it's gonna stop before even reaching the side. So we also cannot use that point. Now we come here, F1, this is 300, this is 300. So now looking at these ones, F1 and F1, where is 300? 300 is on this side. So these ones, meaning they can give us our first strike line, because they can join together without being stopped. There's no conjunction, there's nothing stopping them in between these 2 points. So now we can just join them, connect them, then they are supposed to be stopped by what? By black, which is 300. So the 300 must stop 300. So we're gonna use black. since we decided to use black. So now our first strike line for the older fault, it's coming from these two, F1 and F1, 300, but we must stop it where? At 300. Okay, so now we have this, we have that. So stopped at 300 today. It's supposed to stop ish. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, so I was supposed to stop there. So yo ish. Yeah, but that's what we're having. Black stops black. Now we come and check. Okay, let's see. From here now, we no longer need that thing of saying, okay, we need 2 points that we can join. We just know that the strike lines must be parallel to each other. So now to get another strike line, we see that we have F1 there. And this F1 must be parallel to this existing strike line. And that F1 is how much? Is 400. And our 400 is what? Is red here. So I'm going to use the red pen. So the 400 must be stopped by 400. Meaning if we draw the straight line, it's going to come and stop here. Parallel to the existing one, but stopped by the same number, same color, 400. Since the contour is 400. You see, that straight line is 400. The contour at F1 is 400. So it must be stopped by 400. So, okay, we make sure that it's parallel to the existing one. Okay, so what do we have? So we have, okay, which one are we trying to join? Okay, so we're trying to join this one. Let me just use the ruler. So we're trying to join which one? This one. So just make sure that it's parallel. Okay, my eyes are telling me that it's parallel. You see, so from there we just come to F1. Okay, where's F1 there? Okay, that's our F1. Let's see. Okay, that's F1, eh? Just make sure it's parallel. Okay. It's gonna stop it where? At 400. So red stops red. So that's what you're having now. So from here we go to where? To 500. 500 is pink. We decided that 500 is pink. So 500 is gonna stop at 500. Now we already know the spacing of our F1. So we just need to measure that spacing. So you can see these drag lines are decreasing or increasing towards the side. So it's 300, it's 300. So this is 400. So the next one is gonna be 500. So meaning it's gonna stop at 500, meaning at pink. So we come here, we measure our spacing. So from this, if you can see, our spacing is how much for the fold? Okay, I'm seeing 19 there. I'm gonna take 19. Okay, let's take 19. So it's pink, 19. So we come and measure the same 19 this side. Okay, so we have our 19 there. Then we have our 19 there. So we just join to get our strike line for F1 for the older fold. So that's what you're having there. Okay, let's see. But we know that it's supposed to stop at pink. Same color stops same color, remember guys. So this thing is sticking. I don't know why it's sticking there. Just want to make sure it's accurate. So that's what you're having there. So instead of passing, it's gonna stop where? At 500 at pink. So that's what you're having. So now we go to the last one, which is 600, and it's yellow. We measure the same 19. Okay, same 19. And let's come there. We have, okay, we have our 19 there. Then we have our 19 this side. Then we just take out our straight line. That's 600. But remember, it must stop where? At 600. So meaning it's gonna stop at yellow. So we can just, so now that's what you have. So you're supposed to have something like this. So you have your 300, 400, 500, 600 for the younger fault. We also had what? 300, 400, 500, 600 for the, okay, it's not for the younger fault. Okay, looking at our strike lines, they are dipping this way. Looking at these strike lines for the older fault, you can see it's 300, 400, 500, 600, meaning they are dipping towards that direction. So we need to apply the same thing that side. So this is 400, meaning we must have our 300 that side. And then we have our 500 and our 600. So same thing, we do our spacing, which is 19. So for our 300, remember our 300 is that side. This is 400. So and our 300, we said it's black. So we measure our 19 there. Since we said our spacing is 19. Okay. So that's what we have. We have our 19 there. Let me make sure it's 19. Okay, yeah, that's what we have. We have 19 there. Just want to make sure here. So that's 19. Okay, 19. Okay, 19 that side. So just join. Remember, this is black. So black stops black. So where's our black? It's here. So meaning our strike line. Okay, it's gonna be like this. But it's gonna stop at black. So that's what you're having. That's our 19 there. Let's see this side. Did you get the 19s? Okay. Then from here, remember we have what? We also have our 500 this side. This is 400. And the straight lines, you can see those straight lines are dipping towards this direction. It's 300, 400, 500, 600. Even this side is supposed to be 300, going that way, decreasing towards that way, increasing towards that way. So it's dipping towards that way, man. I made a mistake. So from here, we need to draw a reef. We have our strike lines for the older fault and the younger fault. We started by drawing the younger fault strike lines. So now we can draw the reef. Same thing applies. Same elevation gives you the strike line for the reef. Meaning points of the same elevation will give us our reef. But we must check first if can they connect without being stopped by any of these faults. So now let's come and check here. So our reef is there. That's R, that's R, that's R, that's R. We have our reef. That's R. So now we want points of the same elevation that are going to be able to connect without being stopped. So this is 300. This 300 cannot connect to this 300 on this side because there's this 300 that's going to stop. Before you even draw this line, it's going to be stopped here. So now we don't have a point there. We don't have a strike line. But this 300 and this 300, they can connect without being stopped. But this 300 and this 300, they can't connect because it will be stopped by this 300. Also that 300 and this one, they can't connect because it will be stopped by this 300 before even connecting. So our first reef is there. But remember we said what? Black stops black. So the reef for 300, we're gonna use red. We're gonna use black, since we decided to stick with black for 300. So we draw a reef there. Okay, our reef. But it's gonna be stopped by black since it's black. Remember 300 stops 300, black stops black. So that's our reef. You see. So we have our reef there. We have our reef, our first reef. Okay. Now we come and check. Since we have our first reef there, now the thing of saying what can connect with what no longer matters. We just need to throw other reefs that are parallel to this existing one of the same point. So that's 300. So we can join this 300, but it will be parallel to that one, but it will be stopped by what? By this 300. Cannot pass this black. So now we come to do our thing to be parallel to this other reef of the same elevation. Okay. It looks straight, guys. Okay. So it must be stopped by what? By 300. So it's just have something like that. There's a reef. So we have our second. It's parallel to that existing one, but it stops at 300. Black stops black, pink stops pink. Now we look, do we have any other 300? Okay, we have that 300 there. So it will be stopped by this one. It will be parallel to these existing reefs, but stopped by this 300. It cannot go through. Okay, now let's go and draw it. Okay, now let's draw it. It's parallel. Let's see. Okay, we have to make sure that it's parallel. Let's just take this one, the closest. Okay, let's say it's parallel. So now it's supposed to join what? Our 300. That's our 300 reef there, R. But it's gonna stop at black. That's what you're having. So we have our reef for 300 there. Now the next thing we go to what? To 400. Go and check our 400 reef there. So yeah, that's what you're having. Now let's go to our 400 reef. You see we have our 400 reef there. Then what other art we have? We don't have. We know that, okay, it must be parallel. These two must be parallel. To get the spacing of the reefs, we need reefs of different colors. The same thing that was happening here. We needed at least two straight lines of different colors so that we know the spacing between the straight lines of F1. Here we needed two different colors of different elevations of different colors to get the spacing. Here we can these two are gonna give us the spacing now. So now we have this 400. So now we will be able to have the spacing because we'll be having two different colors of different elevations. Now we will know the spacing between our reefs. Now that reef there is how much? It's 400. And the 400 we said it's red. We decided to use red for 400. Parallel. So we just need to draw a parallel strike line. A parallel reef line there. So that's what you're having. So now that's how much? 400 to come here. Same color, stop same color. So this is meaning it's gonna come and stop here. This thing, it's red. So it stopped there because it's red. Red stops red. So we have our 400 reef. So now from this, we already know the spacing between our reefs. So now we can just draw the rest of the reefs. It's 300, it's 400, meaning it's 500 and 600. So now let's get the spacing there. So the spacing 36. So we'll just stick with 36. So the next reef, since it's 300, 400, next reef is 500, 36, and 500 is pink. So we come there. From there we measure 36. We know the spacing between our reefs is 36. 36 is there. Then, okay, 36 is there, then there. So now we get our 500, but it stops at pink. Remember, pink stops pink. Okay. So that's our pink there. So we have our reef, our pink reef. So that's what we are having. So we have our pink reef there. Okay. Now 600. 600 we said it's yellow. Same thing. 30 said it's 36. Okay, so where's 36 here? 36. Okay, so yellow stops yellow, ne? 36. So we have our yellow reef there. So that's what we are having now. Okay, so far I hope you are following. Younger fault, older fault, stopping same color. Also with the reefs, same color, stop same color. Same rules, that is like the first reef was formed by same points that are not gonna be stopped by what? By the same elevation. So now when you're here, you already know the spacing. You see? So from here, at least we know the spacing. So we can also do what? Okay guys, now we're here. This is what we are having. From here, you see we have everything. But there's a lot of things that are missing here. So let's look at the questions here. We are supposed to plot the strike lines, plot the lines of intersection, complete the outcrops, show the area underlay. So you can complete the outcrops of the fault because you already have the strike lines for the fault. You can do the strike lines for the outcrops for the fault. It's gonna be easy, that one. I'll do it later on. So now I'm just interested in doing the reefs, finding the blocks first. You see? So now from here, from what we're having, okay, let me use this page. There's a page here. This topic that you're gonna do next, it still falls under the same topic because it's still two faults. Still two faults are problems. So there's this page here. Where is this page? Yeah, this one. This topic, this you must know this thing. But I'll show you how I crammed it and understood it. Then you're gonna use it. This one, you must know it. It's gonna help you with this question and the next topic that you'll be doing. So now we're gonna start by naming. That's the easier approach. You must name your what? You must name your faults and your reefs. So the first thing that you do, you identify the dipping direction. In this case, these numbers are decreasing towards that direction. If you check, this is negative 300, negative 400. These numbers are decreasing. If you take it in terms of maths, this is decreasing. So it's dipping that way. If we agree, it's dipping that direction. So you're just gonna need 2 points. Is this TV just switched off? Let me see. So you just need 2 points. So you need 2 points. You need 2 elevations. Let me just say 2 elevations. So I'll decide to take 300, 2 consecutive. I always take 2 consecutive ones, the ones that are following each other. So we'll take negative 300. Let's choose me negative 100. You see. Then we're gonna name these the faults that are associated with 300 and also the reefs that are associated with 300. Then the same thing with 400, the reefs that are associated with 400, also the faults, we're gonna name them. So these 2 only. We don't care about 500 and 600. We're interested in these 2. You name the first 2. That's what I always do. It works. Just name the first consecutive. Don't complicate things. And you know that we're dipping in that direction. You see. So now you come here. The faults. We must start with the faults first. These faults, if you check, we say this one is the younger fault. This fault being the younger fault, it becomes our fx. It becomes our fx. We're still focusing on 300 alone. We haven't went for 400. It's the younger fault because it's young fault. It's the younger fault. It's for f2. We throw it across the entire page. It becomes our fx for younger fault. Fx, that's fx there. These 2, remember I said the faults and the reefs. Now we come up to these faults. Start with the faults first. So the younger fault. Then we have these 2 older faults. But remember we are dipping that way. So let me just throw the arrow so that we don't get confused. Even here, let's just throw the arrow. We know that we are dipping that way. So this one it becomes FO. It's old. Even this one is FO. It's old. We're still focusing on 300 alone. So now when we are naming, we name with respect to the position of that thing that we are naming in relation to the hanging wall. What is situated on the foot wall side does not change. It keeps its name. So let's check here. This is our fault. Remember we said this is our fault, our younger fault. So we name based on the hanging wall and foot wall of the younger fault. So now this is our younger fault. There, if I put this like this, we said this side is the hanging wall. Why? It's the side of the dipping side, the arrow side. So that's our hanging wall side. This is our foot wall side. Between these 2 blacks for 300, the one for 300, this 300 and the 300, which one is on the foot wall side? It's this one. So it keeps that FO, doesn't change. This one, since it's on the hanging wall side, it's gonna inherit that X there. So instead of being FO, it becomes FOX because of that X. It's on the hanging wall side of this younger fault. Okay, let me repeat that thing. We said we name with respect to the position of whatever we're naming in relation to the hanging wall of the younger fault. So this is our younger fault. We said it's fx because it's young. Then we said it's dipping that way because the numbers are decreasing that way. So now we said on the side of the arrow it's our hanging wall. On this side it's our foot wall. Focusing on the black, we're dealing with our faults. Faults first, we'll come to the reefs. We put our ruler there. We agree that this side is the hanging wall side because of that arrow. This side is the foot wall side. And if you check here, this one, it's behind that arrow. It's our foot wall. Hence it stays as FO. This one is on the other side of the FX. Hence it becomes FOX instead of just becoming FO. Now let's go to 400. The same thing. 400. Okay, this one we call it FX1. Then this one we just call it FO1, FOX1. this one, yeah. Then this one is fx2. Why? It's young. We said anything that is young, it's fx. And now focusing on the red now, the red faults. We agree that this is the younger fault, it's fx. These two, meaning this first red here, it's SOF, it's FO. Also this red, deep in that way, it's also FO. But this one, if you put a ruler here, you see that one is on the hanging wall side of F of this red, of that arrow. That's red, your now it's on the footwall side, so it stays as FO, so it's gonna be FO2. This one is affected because it's on the hanging wall side. It takes the X, so it's gonna be FOX2. So I hope you are getting it, guys. I hope you are getting it. So now we are here. Now we can start doing what? Dealing with the reefs. We have to name our reefs. Remember, whatever is on the hanging wall side is affected, but on the footwall side, we presume that it's not affected. You see? And we are only focusing on 300 and 400. Ignore the rest. We are still focusing on 300 and 400. Okay, now let's come to our 300 and 400. Let's look at this reef. Is this reef is where it's on the footwall side. Remember, this is our fault. Which faults are enclosing this reef? The black ones. This reef is enclosed by this older fault there, younger fault, and then this older fault. When focusing on the black lines, black encloses black. Check here, same color encloses same color. So it's this and that. If we check this reef, it's on the footwall side of both of these faults. This fault here, it's pointing that way. The arrow is dipping that way. We said this side is the hanging wall side. This behind here, it's our footwall. Even with this one behind here, it's our footwall. So this reef is not affected by anything. So it just becomes R. Nothing is affecting it. It becomes R. There's nothing affecting that reef. It's not on this hanging wall side of any of these two black lines that are enclosing it. Now let's come to this one. This black is enclosed by this black and this black. You see? So that black and that black are enclosing this one. If you check, it's on the hanging wall side. This reef, it's on the hanging wall side of FX1. Focusing on black. But on the footwall side of FOX, because it's behind the arrow of FOX, but in front of the what? The hanging wall. So since it's affected by only FX, it becomes RX. Now this reef becomes RX when we're naming it. Name based on the hanging wall. We are done with that one. Come to this one. We're still dealing with the black, so it's enclosed by this black and then also by this black. If you check that one. So now remember, this whole entire line is FX. I wrote there, it's FX. And this side is the hanging wall, we agree, of the arrow. Let me just do that so that I can remind you. And also this one is the hanging wall. So this reef, you check here, it's on the hanging wall side of this fault, also on the hanging wall side of this fault. So it's on the hanging wall of what? Of OX and FX. Hence it becomes ROX when you are naming it, because it's included by both. So now that one will be R1, that one will be ROX1, this one will be RX1. I hope you are seeing it. Now we go to 400 to apply the same steps. 400, okay, let's go. Let's start with this reef. That's what we're having. This reef there is enclosed by what? By this fault and also this fold there, they're enclosing it. So it's that entire fold and this fold like this. So this, if you check, it's on the hanging walls, it's on the footwall side of this 400, because the hanging wall is this side. On the footwall side, also here, it's on the footwall side. So also here it's on the footwall side, hence it just becomes R. So it's gonna be R1, R2, since that one was R1. Now let's come where is the other rate? We have this rate also. So now we have this, it's also enclosed by that. So this one, if you check, it's on the hanging wall side, on the hanging wall side. It becomes ROX2. I hope you managed to see, guys. I hope you managed. So that's how you do the naming. We said it's on the hanging wall. Why? Because this rate, the dipping is in this side. So the hanging wall is the side of the arrow. Even with this one, this long one, it's dipping that way. The arrow, there's the arrow there. You can put it here if you look confused. Maybe you can just put it here to avoid confusion. Put an arrow here. You know that, okay, it's on the hanging wall, on the hanging wall. Hence it's ROX, because it's enclosed by what? FOX and FX. Both of them, they make they make OX. Hence it's ROX, ref ROX. Okay, now we have named those namings are going to help us to find our blocks. So now for each level, so if you check here, we have 300, 400, 500, 600. We must check if do we have a missing reef or not. If we have a missing reef, is it real or is it not real? So the first thing that you do, you must extend all these reefs using a pencil. There's a reason for that. It's going to help us when you are measuring. So now we extend all these reefs with a pencil throughout the entire page. So this yellow, I'll just extend it. So we have this yellow there. Okay, just extend it with the pencil there. Let's see, extend it with a pencil. Yeah, then we come and extend this pink one. We extend all of them to cover the entire page with a pencil. So we come and also extend this one. Okay, so if we extend with something like let's see, something like this, then we come and extend this one. Okay, yeah, just extend all of them. Okay, extend this one. And come and extend this one. Okay, the last one. Okay, so we managed to extend all of them with a pencil. So we extended all of them to cover the whole page. Now we'll go level by level. So when you are trying to find the missing reef, the first thing that you need to do, okay, finding missing reef. You're finding the missing reef and check if it exists or not. Finding missing reef. The first thing that you do, the first step, you must ignore the younger fold. Ignore the younger fold. That's what we do. So for each color, we ignore the younger fold for that color. For 300, it means that we'll ignore this 300, the entire 300. For 400, we'll ignore this 400, this red one. For 500, we will ignore this 500. So we ignore the younger fold. And the folds, they are always going in this manner. You find that you have R1, RX, ROX, RO. So you might get a guide as to which folds are missing. Here we have R1, if you check. For black, we have RX, we have ROX. So we're saying we have what? That R1, which is R. We have RX, which is RX1. We have ROX. So here we already know, we can see that, okay, we are missing RO. Fold RO there is missing. So we come and check here. You don't need to cram this thing, but I'm just saying it can give you a guide as to which fold is missing. So now you come here. We said we ignore that older fold. So we're focusing on these younger folds, the black younger folds, this one and this one. We ignore the younger fold. Focus on the old. So now we're focusing on this old one. Can you see that we have something, we have something that is black on that side, we have something that is black on this side. Remember, black, and this line is black. So if we are speaking in technical terms, we said this is the hanging wall side of this black line because of this arrow. The other side of this arrow is the footwall side. So we have something on the footwall side of this fold. We have something on the footwall side. That's RX. We have something on the hanging wall side. That is ROX. Done. It's complete, that one. It has both the hanging wall and the footwall side reefs. It must have both a footwall and hanging wall side to be complete, a fold. So now here, come to the second black one on that other side of the younger fold, but we're ignoring the younger fold. Looking at this one, this is the hanging wall side, we agree, because of the air for this fold, but that side is the footwall side. Let's put our pen there. If you check, we have something on the footwall side of this. That something is that black thing. We have something on the footwall side, but we have nothing on the hanging wall side. This reef is missing, but we have to determine, is it real or non-real? Does it exist or not? For it to exist, you see, it must be in between these two black lines. There's no other way. It must be in between these two black lines. We can see. So now what do? We go and check, okay, what is the movement between the hanging wall and the footwall? Now let's come to this one, the one that is complete. Can you see that when we are going to here we have the hanging wall side and the footwall side. Oh, we have the hanging wall side and the footwall side. The arrow is this side, so this is the hanging wall, that's the footwall side. So here, when you're going down, we are coming towards the hanging wall side, if you check. When you're going up, we're going down, we are coming towards what? The footwall side, the hanging wall side. Going up towards the what? Towards the footwall. So here, what are we missing? We're missing the footwall, the hanging wall, because the footwall is there. So we need to go down to reach where? To reach the hanging wall reef. Because even here, we apply the same movement. Here, to get to the hanging wall, I said this is the hanging wall. To get here, you have to go down. What do I mean by going down? I meant you go down from that, because remember where the reefs are going down this way. They are the deep in terms of these numbers, 300, 400, 500, 600 this way. So now I'm saying from there, from the footwall side to the hanging wall side, you go down. from the hang wall side towards the footwall side, you go up based on this, because that's the footwall. So same rule here, meaning whatever distance that we're gonna measure here, we must go down to get what? To get the hang wall reef, since we also went down there to get the hang wall reef. Now you can just measure it straight. Hence I said we must have those lines, so you can just measure it straight there. So if you measure it straight there, it's 20 from the distance from those two, since these ones are belonging in one fault, which is that fault. You measure it there, it's 26. So meaning from there to this other reef, you must measure the same 26. So you come there, okay, you put your 26 somewhere there, 26 is there. What's happening with this TV? 26. So you see, if we draw that line there, let's extend that line throughout the entire page, you'll see. Yeah, you see, that's the line. So if we draw that line there, it's not even close to this. It's supposed to be here. Remember, we said this fault, when we're ignoring this younger fault, when you put our thing there, we have a reef there, we must have a reef on the footwall side, on the hang wall side. So the reef is there. It's not even passing here. If it was passing in between here, in between these two black lines, it was gonna be real. Now it's there. It's not existing. So meaning that reef, it's not existing. We're done with the black line. We have to move on to the 400 line. We're applying the same steps on the 400 line. Remember, we measured that distance, then we came in through, we measured it from here, because the movement of the reef from the footwall to the hanging wall was 26. Hence we had to measure 26 also from here. We got here, it's not existing because it's not here. It's supposed to be in between these two lines. Going to 400, same thing, ignore the younger fault. Focusing on the red lines. This is the red line, first red line. So on this red line, okay, let me see. On this red line, okay, let's start with this side, so that you see proper. That's what you're having on this red line. What do we have there? We have the footwall. Why? It's the behind of the red line was the footwall. Behind the footwall. This side, we have nothing on the hang wall. There must be something here in this red line, in this red triangle. There's nothing. And that side is what? It's our hanging wall. And we said there, from the hanging wall, from the footwall towards the hanging wall, we go down. Hence, you must measure going down. So even from here, from this 400, we're going to measure going down. That same 26 that we got when we're measuring there, we're dealing with the black. So we measure 26 going down. Same 26 that we measured there. So 25, 26 is there. That's 25. Okay, that's 26. Okay, now we draw our line, our straight line there. There, that's our straight line. But now what do you see? Remember, we said we have this, we have a reef on the hanging wall, on the footwall side, because it's the behind of this fault. We have a reef, but we have nothing on the hanging wall. So for that reef to exist, we're supposed to be here, between these two blocks. And you see this pencil there that we drew when we measured 26 from there to there. This is our pencil, if you follow. Can you see that pencil passes in between those red lines? Meaning our reef is real here. But it gets stopped by what? By the red lines. Remember, red stops red. And then we have our reef there. We have found our missing reef for 400 there. Hopefully you are following, guys. Hopefully you are following. Now let's come, we're still on the red. Let's come and check this one with this one. This fault. That's the fault that we're having. So now looking at that fault today, let's look at our fault. Okay, what's happening? We have the hanging wall. Remember, this is the arrow of the red line. So on the hanging wall side, we have a reef. We agree, that's our reef. It's enclosed by these two blocks, this red and red. But on the footwall side, there's nothing. In those two red lines, there's nothing there. So on the footwall side of this younger fault, there's nothing. You see? On the footwall side, there's nothing, guys. And we said we only measure going down when we are going towards the hanging wall. So now we are missing the footwall. And to measure going towards the footwall, we must go up. Like we saw from here when we were starting. We said we had this. We had a footwall, we had a hanging wall. Going towards the hanging wall, we said we are going down. We can see. So whatever distance we had to measure it going down from here. Since we came here and said, okay, for this fault, we have something on the footwall, but we have nothing on the hanging wall. Hence we measure going down because we're going towards the hanging wall. Same with this first rate here. We said this. We said we have something on the what? On the hanging wall, on the footwall side, because the behind of the deep, we have something there. But we have nothing on the hanging wall side. And going towards the hanging wall, we measured down. That's why we measured 26 from there, from that reef to there. And then we found out, oh, that line that we're throwing, it's in between those red lines. Hence our reef exists there. But now when we're coming here this side, we see, okay, on the hanging wall side we have something, but on the footwall we have nothing. So we must measure going up to get the footwall. But we must measure what is 26. So now we come and measure 26 here. So we come here. So 25, 26, 26. I'm not seeing this 26. Okay, it's 20. Let's see. So 26, then this 26 is where? The other 26 is somewhere. 1, 2, 26 is somewhere here. So now, joining them, extending them throughout the entire page. These dots. Okay, extending them throughout the entire page with a faint line. We see, okay, that's our line. We must focus. That's our line. This is our line that we just drew. It belongs where? To the red. Is it in between the two red lines? Yes. Meaning our reef it exists there. It's in between. So now we come and draw. So that's our reef. We found another reef, another missing reef there. Now we are done. We have all 4 reefs. Remember I said these things, they always go in 4s. We are done. Here, the 4th one, which we are supposed to find for the black, we found that it does not exist because it was not enclosing it was not being enclosed within the black lines. So now we are done. We move to where? To the which reef? Okay, 500. We apply the same thing. Ignore the younger fault. Start with the older fault. Let's start with this bottom one. It's up to you which one you start with. Now let's see. Footwall side. For sure you know this by now. Why? This fault is dipping towards this direction. They are all dipping towards that direction. Because the numbers are decreasing towards that direction. Negative 300. It's maths. Negative numbers are smaller than... Okay, they are smaller. The more negative the number is, the more smaller it is. So yeah. So coming to this one, ignoring that younger fold. Let's come to this fold alone, the pink one. We have something on the footwall side, but we have nothing on the hanging wall side. And they go into the hanging wall side, you measure going down. Based on our thing that we got from the start there, we measure going down towards the footwall, towards the hanging wall. But how much do we measure? 26. So you measure 26 from this reef because we want to find its partner. Come here. If this partner is in between between two pink lines, it's real. If it's not real, we leave it. So 25, 26. Let me put it here so that I can see. 25, 26. Okay, that's 26 there. 26 there. Then, okay, we just draw in a line that is passing throughout the entire page, a faint line. Okay, that's the line that we just drew. It's this one. Is it in between any pink lines? Yes, it's there. Those two lines there. Those two pink lines are enclosing this line, meaning it's real here. So now we come. Okay. But it gets stopped by the pink lines. Remember, it must not pass. Ish, don't know what happened there. I passed by a small margin, but yeah. It's supposed to be pink. So yeah, that's our reef there. We have our reef there. Now let's go to the second older fold. That one. Looking at that older fold, we agree still we're dipping that way. So this is the hanging wall of this fold. So looking at this, we have a reef on the hanging wall side. That reef there, it's enclosed by these two pink lines. That pink and this pink, they're enclosing this reef. So looking at this reef alone, we have something on the hanging wall side. But on that side of this older fold, we have nothing on the hanging wall side, on the footwall side. But on the hanging wall side, because the side of the dip, we have something with that pink. But on the footwall, we have nothing. And going to the footwall, we measure going up. So you must measure going up from where? From this partner. Measure 26 from this partner. Now let's measure 26. So even if you measure it, you see it's not gonna exist. 26 won't reach that side. So, but yeah, let me just measure it to show you. So 26 will be here. That's 26. 26. 26. Where's 26 here? Oh, 26. So when you draw this line, it's here. It's not there. It's supposed to be there for it to exist. Remember that the partner must be there because we were focusing on that older fold. So its partner must be there. As much as it's passing between these two pink lines, we are not interested in this. We're interested in finding the partner for that pink older reef. We already found a partner for this pink older reef, which was this one. So also that one needs a partner. It doesn't have a partner. It's not real. We leave it. Go to 600. Now going to 600, we ignore the older fold, the younger fold again. Let's focus on this first yellow. We agree we're still dipping this way, meaning this is the hanging wall, that's the footwall. So the footwall, we have something, but the hanging wall, it does not have a partner. So to get to the hanging wall, we said we measure going down. Okay, so from here, guys, we are left with one last part, which is the finding the reefs for the yellow one for 600. Same thing, we said we ignore the younger fold. So now let's come here. This is my yellow line. We have what? Our footwall on this side, our hanging wall. And if you check here, there's nothing on the hanging wall side. We're missing something. And you said we measure going down when we go to what? To the hanging wall. So we measure out 26. So we're just gonna measure out 26 there. So 26 is somewhere there. Then this side 26 is there. Yeah. Then we just draw a straight line. Remember we said we just draw a straight line with our pencil. And then we said for this rift to exist, it must be where it was missing. So we come here, we see we had something on the footwall, we had nothing on the hanging wall. And then our line, it's there, it's passing in between those two lines on our hanging wall where it's needed. So it's there, it exists. So we come here. So we have our reef there, it exists. So we are sorted, we are cruising. Now we come to this one. Same thing. All the fault, ignore the hanger fault. We have something on the hang wall side. We have this yellow here on the hang wall side. On the foot wall, we have nothing. And we must measure from where? From the partner towards the hang wall, towards the foot wall, and just have to go up. Even if you measure, it won't make 26. So I won't draw it. So it's not there. There's nothing there. It's fine. So meaning your map, when you're done, it's supposed to look like this before finding the blocks. Now we're gonna go and find what? The blocks. Okay guys, now that we have everything that we need, now we're gonna use what we used. We're gonna start using what we labeled at the beginning of this video. So remember we labeled our fx. We said we're gonna focus on 300 and 400. I said just choose two and then name them in terms of the faults and also the reefs. So we named everything. Now let's see the missing ones that we found that belong either to 300 to 400 and name them so that we can use them. Remember, we need to use them to get the blocks. So now for black, we didn't find any missing reef. So meaning those reefs are there. But where did we throw the black one? Actually, let me see where I throw it because we're gonna need it. So we measured 26, you know? So we said from the black reef, we said, okay, that's a black reef. So our 26 was here. So we agree, this reef that is not existing, it's part of what? It's part of the black reef. But what is the name of that reef? I don't want to complicate things for you and try to see which is on the hang wall or what. But if you look at it in that way, we see it's on the foot wall. Okay, this is the foot wall. So it was supposed to be what reef? We have R1, we have R, we have RX, we have ROX. So the missing one is what? Is RO. This reef was supposed to be RO, but it did not exist. It was gonna be here. You check where it was gonna be, then you name it according to where it was supposed to be, not where it is now. You don't name it according to where it is, where it's not existing. It's not existing there. It's there. When you throw it, you can see it's there. But it was not supposed to be there, it was supposed to be here. So we name it according to where it was supposed to be. So it was supposed to be at O for that black. You see, but it's not existing. Why am I throwing that one? Because we're gonna need it. Since we chose 300 and 400, we're gonna need all the reefs for black and all the faults for all the reefs for black and all the reefs for black for red. As much as they are not existing, also those who are not existing, we also need them. So now let's go to red. For red, we found all of our reefs. So for red, we had, okay, let me write with the pen so that we don't get confused, but it's fine, it's fine. So we have R2, we had ROX, you see. So this one, it's existing, so we're not gonna name it according to where it was supposed to be. It's where it's supposed to be. So it's between the hanging wall of FX. focusing on red. Hanging wall of fx, foot wall of fox. So this red one is rx. Remember we said we name according to what? To the hanging wall. So it's rx2, since we said the red is 2, rx2. This one automatically, even if I can try to do the things, I will get it, but I'll just, maybe because I'm lazy, I'll just take what's missing. So we already have r, we already have rx, we already have rox. So the missing one is ro. So it's ro. Even if you check, it's on the hanging wall of fo, but on the foot wall. So, okay, so I just use this key, ne? So you need to cram this thing. It's there in the book, but I prefer writing it this way because it's not written in this way there. So to cram it, I decided to group the ones with x alone and the ones with o without x, not with o. The ones without x alone, the ones with x alone. So it's up to you if you start with this side or this side. So I'll just start using this side. First thing that we do, you always start by drawing the lines of intersection. So I'll start with the fault line of intersection. Fault line of intersection. You see, so the intersection between this and this would give you this box 1x. We call it box 1x. So we go and try and find between these two levels. We will find what, between the black, we find where there's intersection of what, of fx and o4x, only with regards to black. Then we come to red, we find where there's intersection of what, f4x and fx with regards to black. Now let's start with the black alone. We want what, where does fx and f4x for black. Now let's see, we're using this side, let's ignore the other side. So this is our black. Where is our fx for black? It's that whole thing there, it's fx. We said it's fx. Where is fox for that black? This is f4x. The intersecting one here, we agree that's where they're intersecting. Done. And this part needs a pencil, so that's where they're intersecting. Now on the red level, remember we said we are only focusing on these two because we only named these two, so we just use them. We're just gonna use the ones that we named, only the two. On the 400, that's our fx. Where is our f4x? Remember we're looking where there's fx and f4x for both. So fx and f4x for that one, this is fx. As much as fx2, it's fx. So it's fx. Where is f4x on the red? This is f4x. We said it's f4x. So they intersect where? Here. Since they're intersecting there, we're just gonna draw a straight line. Okay, we're just gonna draw a straight line there, connecting those 2 points. We're just gonna draw a line of intersection the way we were drawing it. Okay, we were drawing it like this. I didn't pass at the proper point, so it's supposed to be like this ish. Yeah, so that's our first line of intersection. If you check, that's it. So we're gonna name it what? Box. Based on this, it's supposed to be named box 1x, so we name it box. Okay, let me write it here. We wanna name it, this camera, why is it so? So we name it 1x, so I'm just gonna write the 1x. So yeah, that's our line of intersection there. Then after, we go where there's an intersection of f4x and rx. on red, then after we go to where? To black, or vice versa, as long as you cover both levels. So F4X and RX. Let me start with the black one. Where is F4X on the black one? That's our F4X. We labeled it as F4X. F4X. Where is it intersecting with RX? The black RX. Place on this key. So black RX. Where is RX? There. They're intersecting there. It's F4X and RX. On the black one, it's F4X and RX, the intersecting there. Now we go to the red one. Where do they intersect? Where is F4X on the red one? It's that one. Where is RX on the red one? It's this one. So they're intersecting where? There. You see? And when we join those two, they're gonna give us what? This box. This is not a box, man. Circle 2x. So we join there. So when we are joining them, how do you decide what you joining them towards that way or towards this way? You join them from where? From the line of intersection. This is our line of intersection. Towards the direction where you are enclosing what you are enclosing. What are we trying to enclose? Remember, we're dealing with RX. So meaning we're trying to enclose RX. Because we said where there's an intersection of this and this for both levels. Meaning we're trying to enclose ref RX. Here, where do you see RX? That side or this side? It's that side. Meaning we're going to start from our line of intersection towards that side. To enclose what? Our RX. So that's how we have. Up until the line of intersection. So that line, that dotted line, we're gonna call it what? Based on this, 2x, 0, 2x. So 0, 2x. So yeah, you see I wrote 0, 2x there. I don't know if it's visible. Yeah. Okay. 0. We're calling it 0, 2x, which is circle 2x. That's the line there. Now we go to what? To find 3x. We want where there's an intersection of fx and rx. It will give us what? This 3x. So this and this now is going to give us this for both levels. So now let's see fx and rx. Let's start with the black one. Fx and rx. Fx and rx gonna give us circle 3x. So where is fx for this one? It's this one. Where is rx for this black one? It's there. They're intersecting there. Now for the red one, because we chose two levels, we want fx and fx and rx. Fx is this one. It's fx2. Remember. Fx. Where is rx for the red one? It's this one. They're intersecting there. We're gonna draw again what a straight line joining those 2 points towards where we're enclosing. If you check this side, there's no rx, hence our line is going that way from the line of intersection. Okay, let's see. So now you see it meets this line even before reaching the line of intersection. So meaning we're just gonna stop there where they meet. Since they're meeting before intersecting the line of intersection, we stop there. That's where they're supposed to intersect. Where they meet, if they meet before the first one, you can just throw it until it touches the second one. If they meet, that's where you stop. If they meet after, that's where you stop. You stop after where they meet. Even if they stop beyond the line of intersection, you have to extend and see where they meet, because that's your turning point. It's gonna help you find the movement when they ask you a question about what is the movement. So now here we see they are meeting here, these two lines, and this one that we drew now, it's what? It's 3x. So it's that circle 3x, and you have circle 3x and circle 2x, and we are told here where these two meet, they give us this turning point, meaning where they meet here, that's delta x, and the block that they give us, this block that they give us, these two, it's bx. So meaning this whole block here, it's bx. So you come and enclose it. So that's what we have. That's what we have. Bah. Now you're cruising. You're cruising. You have this. Bah. That's block what? Bx according to our legend. Done. Now we come to the bottom part. We haven't done this one. We want where there's an intersection of FOX and RX for both levels. Let's start with the rate, with the trend rate. FOX and ROX. FOX and ROX. So it's FOX here. That's FOX for the black. Where is ROX? Based on this, again, it's for FOX and ROX. So we have FOX, ROX for the black reef. Where is ROX? It's this one. Where are they intersecting? They're intersecting there. So it's FOX, ROX. They're intersecting here. Now let's go to the rate. FOX and ROX for rate. Where is FOX for rate? FOX for rate. That's the FOX for rate. ROX for rate. Where is ROX? Oh, it's this one. So it's FOX, ROX for rate. Let me see, why am I not seeing properly? Okay, so they're meeting there. That's your ROX and FOX for rate. So you have this line. So I just decided to draw a straight line. I want to see the second line so that I see where they are supposed to enclose. So that's our line there. Remember, I said it's always from where? From the reef, from the line of intersection to where? Towards the reef. So this one is supposed to move from here to there. Because coming this side, you don't have any arrow axis. So it's supposed to be from the line of intersection towards where you have your reef. So this line must not be there, this one. See? So that's our line there, it's going that side. This one, if you see, then it's stopping where there's a line of intersection. Now that line, based on this, it's gonna be line 20x. So 020x. Now we go and find what? We go and find what's this? FX and ROX to get the 30x. FX for both levels. FX, ROX. Okay, where is FX for the red one? For the black one first. Let's start with FX is this fault. ROX is way. Okay, FX, where is ROX for the black? Okay, it's this one. So now you see it ends there. You try to see where was it going to intersect if it was passing. So if it was passing, let's put a ruler here. If it was passing, it was going to intersect FOX there, FX there. If this line was passing there. Since we extended it, we extended it, it shows that it was going to intersect there. We extended with the pencil when we were starting. So that's FX and what? And ROX. Now FX and ROX for the red one. Let's not forget this one. So for the red one, FX and ROX, that's FX. ROX for the red one. This is ROX is this one for the red one. It was gonna intersect this, or it's intersecting it here. So meaning we have to join these two now. These two that were formed by what? By FX and ROX. So these two were joining them. From the line of intersection, okay, where is the line of intersection? Oh, it's this one. is this one. So from the line of intersection, either to that side where there's arrow X or towards this side. Where is arrow X? You see we have our arrow X is this side. This side. Hence it's not gonna go that side, it's gonna come this side. So it's that's what we're having. That's what we're having. Towards our arrow axis. And this line is what? It's 30x based on the legend. So that line and that one, they are enclosing what? All our arrow axes. You see we have arrow X, arrow X. This one is also arrow X if you were to check with the yellows. Now you come here, you do your magic here. Where they turn, let me not forget, where they turn, where they meet, this 30x and that 2x, they meet where? Here. That becomes what? That becomes our delta, based on this, delta AOX. And the block that they are forming, so this is the block that they are forming. Don't mind this part, this one is not supposed to pass there, they're supposed to meet there. Where they meet, the block that they form, these ones, these two, they form this block, which we will call block what? BOX. So now we come here. The YBOX, it's enclosing all the arrow, the OXs, OX reefs. They are turning there, that's our turning point, where they intersect. Something like this. Now we are cruising. You will find that say that he likes to close this thing here and then extend it there. Yeah. So you might find that he likes to also extend it this side. You might find that he likes to extend it this side. And then maybe he extends that side. Sorry. Then you would have to extend this one. That's what you're having. You see. So this one that we just drew now, we said it's what? It's arrow X based on the legend. So it's gonna be block OX. Now we go and find what? We go now and use this other side, this one. Okay, when we're using this other side, same thing, we start with the fault line of intersection. All our reefs are gonna be all our lines that we'll be drawing, they're gonna be stopped by this line now. Remember those ones, they were getting stopped by what? By this line of intersection. Now these other lines that we're gonna draw now, they're gonna be stopped by this one. Meaning FO and R, when we extend, must be stopped by what? By the intersection of these two faults. Now we go and find what? FX and FO. I don't have any more highlighters. Yeah, I'll see. Maybe I'll use something else. I'll see. So now we come here. We want where there's an intersection of FX and FO, intersection of FX and FO for both these two levels that we chose, 300 and 400. For 300, we want where there's an intersection of FX and FO. 300, FX and FO. This is FX. Where is FO? This is FO. They intersect there. For red, where there's an intersection of, okay, that's the point, we should not forget it. For red, FX and FO, that's FX. FO for red is this one. They intersect there. Then we just move a straight line there, connecting them. That's our line of intersection. So now we can see that we are cruising, we're almost there, we're getting our total. So okay, we're here. So we are joining our lines, we're drawing our line of intersection. Yes, we didn't draw it properly, but yeah. When I draw it properly on the test, and I didn't draw it straight, so yeah, supposed to be passing on top of those dots, but yeah. So this line, we're gonna call it what? Based on this, it's gonna be what? Box 1, box 1. You see, so everything now that we're drawing is going to be stopped by that box 1. So now we go and look for what? FO and R. Okay, remember guys, we said we're looking for where there's an intersection of our, based on the key here, FO and R for both levels, which is what we did. So now for FO and R for both levels, okay, for the red FO, where's FO? It's this one. Then R, they were going to intersect somewhere here. If they were going to intersect FO and R, where's the R? Okay, they would have intersected somewhere there with a point there. Then FO and R for the black, where's FO here? Okay, this is FO. They're going to intersect somewhere there. Okay, we have those 2 points. But now we can't join them towards that direction. There's no reef there. The only way is towards this side. Remember we said from the line of intersection towards the direction where there's a reef. Where the reef we're interested in is at. Look at this reef, it's R. R is this side. All these are R. So we come this side, not that way. Because if we throw it towards that way, there's no R's there. The R's are this side. These are all R's. R. Ignore that non-existing one. This is R, this is R, this is R, this is R. So from that line of intersection, where is that line of intersection? It's this one. So they were supposed to, if they were that side, we were supposed to join these 2 points, you see. But now we can't join these two because they are leading that way. That one will just guide us with a straight line. It will guide us towards our straight line, making our straight line. So now meaning we're just gonna come from here. So they're supposed to be there. So we come from there. Let's see, where's that point? Oh, okay. So suppose like this. Now it's just gonna be like this. Instead of passing there, it just ends here. Instead of going that side. Okay, let me erase it so that you don't get confused. So this one is supposed to end there. So hopefully now you see. Okay, it's supposed to be like that. That's what we're having. It ended there. From the line of intersection towards the reef that we're interested in enclosing. So that line, based on this, it's going to be called what? It's going to be called 1. Circle 1. Now we go and find the second one. The second one is what? It's supposed to be FX and R, which is going to give us circle 2. FX and R for both levels. So for red, for black, FX is this one. R is that point. For the red, FX is that one. R, that point. So we have this point and that one. So now we're supposed to join there. So you see, if we throw these ones, they are going to enclose the reef that we're interested in. So where are they intersecting there? Somewhere here. They're going to intersect there. But now, to the point that we had. So meaning this is our turning point already. It's just guiding us. So this turning point, you're going to tell it what? Triangle 1. So now I don't have a highlighter, but I'll check for it. So now you just have to enclose this. We're going to call this block R, based on the block 1. Sometimes they call it BR, sometimes B1. So I'll just say T1 or PR, because it's the block that is enclosing the block, the reef 1, reef R, you see. Okay guys, since I don't have highlighters, I'll just use my color there. So it was supposed to be like this. The highlighter was supposed to move next to this line. Supposed to move next to this line. Next to this line. So we're assuming that this is highlight. Okay, this is the turning point where they meet. Then obviously comes this side along this line here, along our line 1, circle 1. So you're gonna have something like this. So we're using a highlighter in your case. Then okay, you can just close it there. So there's something like this. So this is block what? We say this is block. Sure, this thing is not right here. Let me just use a pen. Yes, I could have just used, yeah, it's fine. I've used purple, I'll use blue for the next one. So this is your block 1 here. You see? So that's what we're having there. Now for the last one, still using the same key. We have what? We're interested in finding what? FO and RO. They're gonna give us what? 2O, FO and RO for both levels. So now we're looking for FO and RO for both. So FO for the first one, for the first 300. So that's our 300. Where's FO? That's FO. Where do you find RO? Where are they intersecting? FO, then black RO. That's ROX. Yeah, RO is this one, the one that's not existing. So if it was existing, okay, FO and RO, they are intersecting there, the line that we drew there. They were intersect there if it was there. It's not there though. Then for this other one, FO and RO. Okay guys, don't make that mistake of saying use the where it was supposed to exist. No, when we are trying to draw these things of block, we just see where it is, where it's imaginary. That's where we use. That's the point that we use. Where it's imaginary, when they intersect, where it's imaginary. So that's what we use. But for existence, if it's not in between where it was supposed to exist, it's not there. But for intersection, it's there, imaginary. It was going to intersect FO there. So they were going to intersect. This is FO. So it was going to intersect FO somewhere here. For the red, FO and RO. So FO is this one, RO for red is this one. They intersecting there. You see? So it's those two lines, 2 points. So now are we drawing them towards that way or towards this way? Where is RO? Where do you find our ROs? So if you check, coming this way, you have our ROs, not that way. This is RO. This is RO. You have our RO there. Obviously, we're going to have our RO somewhere if you check. So now we're coming this way from that line of intersection. So this line, we're going to call it what? We're going to call it, based on this key, is circle 2O. Circle 2O. Now we want where there's FX and RO. For 300, FX, and this is FX. It was going to intersect RO here if RO was existing here, straight here. Then FX and RO for red, FX and RO for red is there. So meaning we have to join those 2 points. We have these 2 points. You see? Those 2 points. That one and this one. From the line of intersection. But where they meet, they're meeting where they. So now are we going that way? Or are we just going this way? You see? Remember the first one is which one? It's this one that we draw here. This is the line that we draw here. If you check. So now the next one, is it that way or this way? Where is our ROs? This way. So it's gonna come this way. From where they meet, remember the first point of reference is you just throw it to the line of intersection. When you're throwing the second one, if they meet before even reaching there, it meets the other one. That's your turning point. If it meets beyond, you extend to where it meets beyond that line of intersection. So now here, these ones, they're just meeting here. They meet before, so they meet exactly at the line of intersection. So it's here. Towards where? Towards RO, because we're interested in RO. RO is where? It's this side. Then I didn't do it towards that side. Where they meet there, based on this, that's change in O, delta O, triangle O, which is what we're gonna use to find the movement. So we have, okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have 4. We are fine now. Now we'll use blue because I don't have highlighter. So we enclose our last. I'll just use blue. So that's what we're having. Turning point is there towards the RO that you're trying to enclose. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, that's what we're having. Based on the key there, that's block what? Block O. Block O, ne? So now we have everything. So if you have your highlighter, you make it proper. Now I don't have. But these turning points are important. Let me just circle them. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 turning points. Okay. Now you have all your blocks. Obviously you'd have highlighted in your case. Now I don't have different colors. Let me see, I think I saw green somewhere here. Hey, this one I think is the same as this one. Yeah, they're the same. So yeah, when you would have highlighted with a different color, but maybe for this block you'll be having a different color. Now I use the pen. Yeah, different color, you'll be having something there with a different color to show. Let me just stick to the pen because it's gonna confuse you. So yeah, that's your highlighter. That's our highlighter there. Done. So we have all our 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then from here, if you check here, we have a reef in between these two lines. So here you have a gain of ground. So here you have a gain of ground. Here, do you have a reef? No, we have nothing. Loss of ground. Okay, here we have reef. These are reefs. So you have a gain of ground. Let's see, where's the other one? Here we have nothing here, so we have a loss of ground. There's no reef. Done. From here, if they were to ask you to find the movement, okay, the outcrops, I'm sure you guys can figure out the outcrops because you've been throwing the outcrops. So check the outcrops because it's not complete. You should throw the outcrops. Ne? I wanted to just show you this part. So now, if they were to ask you the movement is from the one without the X to the one with the X. That's how I managed to cram it. Let me show you here. Somewhere here is. So now to determine the movement, it's even written. Movement is from 1 to X or from 1O to OX. From the one without the X to the one with the X. From 1 to X. Meaning from this turning point. That's why the turning points are important. So we have this delta X here. And where are my turning points? Oh, delta X. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they are saying the movement is either you measure it from where? From this. From 1 to X, meaning it will be from here to here, or from there to there. So now let me just take one. I'll just take this one from, they must be equal. From there to there or from there to there, those distances must be equal. So it's from 1 to x or from O to OX. So I'll just take one. If they were to ask you to find the movement, the amount of movement. So now if we're measuring our turning points, so I'm getting around, let's see, I'm getting 19 millimeters. So if you were to convert this with the scale, you have to convert it with the MAP scale. So our scale is 1:1000 here. So remember I said to get your distance in meters, you just say your distance in millimeters times the scale divided by 1000. So this in this case it's just 19 meters, the movement in this case. Okay, let me just show you guys. You can see it's not visible. So that's the thing, that's the movement. Now the direction of movement, it's from what they are telling us. It's from 1 to x, or from 1 to x, or from that thing. So from 1 to x, I just draw a straight line from 1 to x, from 1 to x. So meaning my dots there. So it's from 1 to x. That's our direction. So our arrow is this side. That's our direction. From 1 to x, or from O to x, even from O to x. Let's join it. Where's the turning point for O? For OX, okay, that one. I'm not seeing the turning point for OX. I think it's this one. It's not clearly visible. Yeah, I think it's that one. But they're supposed to be parallel. So those are we see they are parallel. So that's our direction. So now you just come and measure it with respect to our true north. So I'll just take this north and put it there to find the amount. If they said find the amount of the direction, so I just take that north and put it there. Why is the knot not moving? So I'm putting the knot there. I'm transposing this knot there. Let's use black. So that's our north. We just moved it. We decided to move our north to that point. So we're just gonna measure this thing with respect to the north. So now to measure our movement we said is 19 meters. The direction of movement, remember I said it's from 1 to x, hence the arrow is pointing that side. From 1 to x, from triangle 1 to triangle x, or from triangle O to triangle OX. Hence they are parallel. You see they are parallel, these lines. So now we come and measure. The normal way of measuring the true deep, we measure true deep. So we're gonna measure it like this. So we know it's from the north something degrees east. You can see. So in this case we were gonna have, our answer is gonna be, let's see. So in this case I'm seeing our answer is gonna be north, and then 24 degrees. So in this case our answer for our direction of movement was gonna be north 24 degrees east. Not the true tip direction, but the direction of movement. So it's north 24 degrees east, direction of movement. The amount we said is 19 meters. Then you are done.